guys, it's Chloe and welcome back to another video. Now, as you can tell from the title of this video, today I am going to be doing a student perspective between an iPad and a MacBook. So the main reason I wanted to do this is because I have been using them for the first 2 years of university now, so I've kind of got an idea which one I prefer, even though I literally use both of them. But we are coming up to A-level results day, which means that everyone's going to be getting ready to start going to uni or back to uni, because we go back next month, which is quite scary. Obviously no one really knows what's going on because of corona and everything, but I decided to do this video now because as I said, we're coming up to A-level results day, so good luck to everyone that's going to get their results. I really hope you get into the university that you wish to get into. And B, it is nearly halfway through August, so it's time for back to school season in the UK. So I have a list of things that I want to go through with you guys today. I only have 4 categories, but I have quite a few talking points, so I really hope you guys enjoy this video. I will also leave in the description box down below the time links, so if there's only certain like subjects or like little areas that you want to look at, you can click on them instead of watching the whole video. But apart from that, I really hope you guys enjoy this video and let's go. Okay, so the first talking point I want to start off on is price. Now, for a student or for anyone really, I think price is something you do need to take into serious like consideration. Mainly because a MacBook can be quite expensive, and if you're not someone who's really into it and you don't know if you want an Apple computer yet, then maybe going for a MacBook for your first one isn't a brilliant idea. So maybe starting off with an iPad might be a little bit of an easy situation for you. But saying that, the iPad, even though this was a lot cheaper than my actual MacBook itself, for me to be able to take notes on this, I've had to buy accessories. I got the student iPad, and I know that the iPad Pro and everything can actually be more expensive than the MacBook Air when using student discount. So this is something that I would take into consideration. So obviously with the iPad, you have cases to keep it protected so it doesn't smash. Screen protectors, I don't have one on mine. I really want to try the paper-like ones, but I haven't got one at the moment. And then the other 2 accessories that I have to go with my iPad for note-taking are, of course, my Apple Pencil, and then I've just got this little silicone cover on it, because when your hand gets sweaty, it does start to slip, and oh my gosh, and writing notes in lectures sometimes can be really painful if you're writing quickly. I've had it a few times where I've had like blisters on my fingers, so I have brought this little pink grip for it, which was really cute. And then so that I can use my iPad as a laptop, so that when I'm traveling I don't have to carry my MacBook around with me, which means on a train I can have a small bag, which is brilliant. I have this keyboard case, and this isn't an Apple keyboard case, this is from Amazon. I think this cost me around £30 or something like that, but there are so many cases that you can look at that are like directly for iPads. The thing that I loved the most about this is on the keyboard it does have the MacBook shortcuts, which made it a lot easier, and it was literally just like going from my MacBook keyboard to this, which made life a little bit easier. But I know that if you're going for the newer iPad, you can get the Magic Keyboard, which is on Apple itself, but that does of course add up and it does become a little bit more pricey. I would say the only situation I really have with this and my iPad is that obviously it doesn't come with a mouse, which means if I get annoyed with using my finger, then I have to buy a plug-in mouse. So it's kind of like a you can't really win situation. Like, both of them are quite pricey, and if you're someone who doesn't like spending a lot of money, then maybe kind of weigh up which one would be better in the long run money wise, because if you have more things to replace, then maybe that's not a good idea. But I love them both and I wouldn't change the world. And then obviously the MacBook is literally all just in one. I don't have any accessories for this. The only accessory I do have for this is a USB-C to HDMI lead, because they don't have HDMI cable leads in them, and when I was doing presentations at university I needed one, so I do have that adapter for this, but I literally got that off Amazon for like a £5 or something really silly. So literally all I have on here is just a plastic case, keeps the MacBook nice and tidy. I have replaced mine, so this is just a clear plastic case because my other one was a bit manky from my uni bag last year. So yeah, but that's basically regard to price. As I said, it depends on what MacBook you're looking for, what iPad you're looking at on the price range, but I definitely recommend the first little thing to look at would be price. But for me personally, I love them both, and you could never have me choose between an iPad and a MacBook ever. Okay, so the next point I want to talk about is the display on the iPad and the MacBook. So I am personally someone who really likes to have a customized display, to have it set up however I want it. So for me personally, this is quite a restricting thing on the iPad, because obviously you have all the apps everywhere and you can't change the app icons for every single app, which is a little bit annoying. And then it only really gives you the option to change the text for your folders, but not for the actual apps themselves. So if you're someone who likes customizable things, then definitely consider a MacBook, because as I said, the MacBook screensaver is a lot more customizable, and I love playing around with mine. I love having different backgrounds, the sticky notes and everything like that. And as well, the great part is you can change the folder icons. So I currently have like these little flowers on, which I think are really cute. So if you're someone who likes to have like a customizable home screen, then definitely I'd go for a MacBook rather than an iPad, because as I said, even though you can change the text font, you can obviously have your iPad however you want it to be, but it doesn't have that kind of desktop feel. And if you're having it for a computer instead of buying a MacBook, it kind of gets rid of that I'm working doing an essay kind of feel, and I do prefer to do my essays on my MacBook to my iPad for that reason, because obviously having this customized background, having a bigger screen as well, means that I'm able to do more. So yeah. Okay, so point number 3 is talking about notes. So I feel like notes when it comes to MacBooks and iPads are very different. Everybody does them differently, and it's also always really controversial when people talk about how they take their notes. So obviously one of the good things about an iPad is you can do handwritten notes, which means that you get more of a notebook feel, but without physically being it being a notebook, which means you're saving the environment obviously, because you become paper free. But the only issue with this is, if you are someone who can't really write very quick, I have found on the iPad, because of the slippy screen, it does make it a little bit more difficult to write faster. So again, this would mean having to invest in another pricey item like a paper-like screen protector. But obviously that depends on you as a person. If you're a fast writer, if you're not a fast writer, if you prefer handwritten notes to non-handwritten notes. But I think that's definitely one benefit about the iPad. If you're someone who wants to become a paper-free student and you prefer to handwrite your notes than type in your notes, then obviously the iPad gives you this option. As well, on the iPad, you kind of get more of a I've got everything together, is in one page kind of situation, if that makes sense, rather than just a notebook. So I have Good Notes, Microsoft OneNote all on my iPad, which means I can literally just go from page to page really quickly, so that if I'm writing out an essay plan in the library, I can literally just drag my screen down and get on Word, quickly search up what I need to search up on Word, open it, put it next to my writing, carry on writing sort of thing. But the only situation you have with this again is the screen size, which we'll go on to. Okay, so then when we're moving on to note-taking on the MacBook, as I said before, the split screen situation on a MacBook is so much easier. So I have a smaller iPad, which means that when I split size things, sometimes you can't always read the writing. So if I'm reading an article, I have to zoom in quite far, which means I can never access everything that I need to at one point and have my note-taking app open. Whereas on my MacBook, obviously it's a bigger screen, so I've literally just got them one next to each other just to type and look from one screen to the other, which is really helpful. But I think that's kind of, as I said, everybody takes notes differently, so it's completely up to you. I sometimes like handwriting my notes. The best part about the iPad is you can obviously draw, you can add pictures in, you can highlight, you can do whatever style you want, whereas on a laptop you can't do that as much. It's strictly just notes. So obviously it depends on how creative you are as a person and how pretty you want your notes to be. And And as well, I definitely think that having an iPad takes out the joy of back to school or back to university shopping, because you're not going and buying stationery and buying all these nice like notepads and everything. Like literally the only thing I have for university next year are some clear folders so that I can print notes off just in case one or the other dies on me, so that I still have a copy of them. But it's just so sad like not going to buy pens and highlighters and stuff like that, because I don't need them. I don't need a diary because I have an electronic one on my iPad. So I think it just kind of takes away the back to school vibe. But again, in the long run, if it's going to save you money, then that's a great thing. Okay, so the fourth and last point I want to talk about is, I think, one of the most obvious ones, and that is the size. One of the most obvious ones, and that is the size of the products themselves. So obviously the iPad is a lot smaller than the MacBook, which means if you were to just take your iPad in, because obviously you can have all your textbooks on the iPad, you don't necessarily have to have a textbook with you. You can take a smaller bag in, whereas with the MacBook, you have to take a bigger bag. Now, obviously this again depends on what size iPad you get, but the majority of the time, if you are looking to reduce what you take with you, not have as much on your shoulders if you're using a backpack, or not having like as much in your bag if you're having like a, what do they call it, a handbag, like a bag that you put in your crease of your elbow. Anyway, so yeah, that's a big decision obviously, but then you have to also consider that you'd have to take your accessories with you, so this and my Apple Pencil, which means I'd put a pencil case in just so that this didn't get covered in water. Obviously I would just take this case off and put this on here, so I'm not carrying around two cases. But again, obviously it's your choice. If you'd rather take a big bag and feel like a proper student, not that you don't feel like a proper student if you just take your iPad, but yeah, you have the option of having a bigger bag or a smaller bag with the iPad or the MacBook. So that's the end of the video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. So that's kind of like my perspective on the iPad versus the MacBook situation that's kind of going on at the moment as a student. As I said, I would never choose between my iPad and my MacBook. I use them both. Specifically for essays is more my MacBook, more for notes and that is my iPad. So I think it depends on you as a student, what you like, how you prefer to take your notes, how you organise yourself and stuff like that. So definitely do your research before going on and buying something as expensive as that. Also make sure you have a look at the deals. I think Apple are doing any Apple product and a free pair of AirPods. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's what they were doing originally. So always look out for the deals on Apple because they are amazing. But apart from that, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and go follow me over on Instagram. And I also have a new Instagram account, which is my fashion Instagram account, so make sure you go follow that too. But apart from that, I shall be back next week with a new video. Bye!